Now, with not all that many reliable reports right now around Arsenal and potential transfers, as well as the Euros being right around the corner, I decided to explore the potential of Arsenal signing Amadou Onana from Everton. Now, it is very well known that he is admired heavily by Arsenal. I mean, even Fabrizio Romano has reported that Arsenal have heavy interest in him. And with me saying that Bruno Guimaraes should be Arsenal's first choice midfielder in the summer, which I still 100% stand by, where do I rank Onana? And do I think Arsenal should even bother going for Amadou Onana, or should we have all our eggs in one basket going for Bruno Guimaraes? Or is there another midfielder that Arsenal should potentially explore? Well, that's what we'll be talking about today. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Gunner Central here. I hope you're all doing well. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get into it. Now, like I said in the Bruno video, if you haven't watched that already, go check it out after this one. We, without a doubt, need a high-class, borderline world-class midfielder to be joining Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard in the midfield. And with Declan being so good as both an 8 and a 6, it allows Arsenal to be somewhat flexible in the market to go for either a borderline world-class number 8 or a borderline world-class number 6. However, with Partey looking destined to leave in the summer and Declan Rice's best position being an 8, you would imagine that Arsenal would mainly focus on the 6 hole, on getting ourselves a world-class CDM. And Amadou Onana of Everton is for the most part a central defensive midfielder. Now, like Declan, Onana can play as a box-to-box midfielder. However, unlike Declan Rice, I think Onana's best position is as a CDM. Onana at the age of 22, I mean, he will be 23 at the start of next season. Amadou Onana is already extremely experienced for his age, playing in Germany with Hamburger, playing in France with Lille, and obviously playing in England with Everton. And standing at 6'4", he is extremely tall, which suits perfectly what Mikel likes his more defensive players to be. Really tall and really good in the air, allowing them to be good at fighting in the air for aerial duels, but also allows them to be threats in set pieces and allows them to help out in defensive set pieces. I mean, you look at the players like Gabriel, Saliba, Declan Rice, Ben White, Havertz, they're all very tall and are good in the air, and Amadou Onana would fit perfectly into this mold. Now, objectively, Onana is nowhere near the level of Bruno Guimaraes yet, at least, but he is taller and he is much younger, so again, he could become that level of a player like Bruno Guimaraes is. Onana is really strong in aerial duels. He is great at interceptions, good at winning the ball in the final third. He is extremely good at winning duels, and overall his defensive football IQ is very, very high, especially for his age, and he has all the physical tools to be even better defensively than he is already. He was playing in a very strong defensive team in Everton, and Onana was a clear reason why Everton was so good defensively. However, on the ball, Onana just isn't amazing yet as a player. He is pretty decent, but he's not amazing on the ball. He has only had one successful cross the entire league season at Everton. He got 0 assists. His pass accuracy is pretty low at 84.9%. He only put 6 shots on target the entire season. Now, yes, he did score 2 goals, and yes, he was playing in a very strong defensive team, but equally very poor attacking team in Everton. But some of those on-the-ball numbers just aren't great, and that's where Bruno beats him out. Bruno is borderline world-class in pretty much every single area of his game, but I guess Bruno is also 4 years older than Onana, and in 4 years' time, Onana could be even better than Bruno is now. So in what world would I prefer the son of Onana as opposed to Bruno Guimaraes? Well, the first thing is that you would imagine that Onana would be far cheaper than Bruno is, with Bruno costing anything from around 80 to 100 million pounds, and Onana costing anywhere from 40 to 60 million pounds. And with Everton being extremely desperate to make a profit this summer, the negotiations for Onana would be far easier, you'd imagine, than the negotiations for Bruno Guimaraes. Onana definitely has the defensive capabilities to be a starter in this team, without a doubt, and probably Onana would look a lot better on the ball in a team like ours as opposed to a team like Everton. Also, at the age of 22, I can certainly see a massive upside for Onana. Also, if we were to get Šeško for, let's say, 45 million pounds, plus say getting Onana for 45 million pounds, that would be around the same price tag combined as getting Bruno Guimaraes. So I certainly see reasons that getting Onana would be better than getting Bruno Guimaraes. Now, I would still personally prefer getting Bruno, don't get it twisted, but at the age and price tag that we could get for Onana, well then it's certainly definitely an option worth exploring. Onana would be a great replacement for Partey, and being next to the likes of Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard, they'll only up Onana's game. And like I said, it may make him far better on the ball, being in a team like Arsenal where there's a lot of options to pass to, as opposed to Everton, who kind of just sit back and maybe play on the counter a little bit more. I mean, even if you go watch Belgium, Onana looks more comfortable on the ball, a lot better on the ball with Belgium than he does with Everton. So I do think maybe his on-the-ball numbers aren't great purely because of the system he plays in and the team that he plays in. With Arsenal, he could look a lot better on the ball. But honestly, I would still prefer Bruno Guimaraes. I just would. But if we were to get Onana, I would certainly still be very happy with that. It would allow us to have more money to spend in other areas of the squad, say a backup right wing, say some more backup in the defensive area, maybe a backup goalkeeper. It would allow us to get Šeško as well. But it would also allow us to have a physical specimen. I mean, he's 6'4", as strong and as quick as he is. He's a physical specimen with a very high defensive IQ to sit in front of a backline like ours, and it would allow Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard to worry less about the defensive end of the game and be a little bit more free in the midfield. Onana would be really good at winning 50-50 duels in the air. It would help out the team massively. Again, I would still prefer Bruno Guimaraes, but if we were to get Amadou Onana from Everton for, let's say, £45 million, that would be an elite signing in its own right.